Hi, welcome. My name is TheNordicDane, and today we're going to talk about Watch Dogs Legion for PlayStation 5. Now, I used to play both the first and the second Watch Dogs when they came out, and I also did buy this immediately when it came out, but it took me a couple of months before I actually started playing it. First of all, that's because I wanted to play it on a PlayStation 5, and I also had a bunch of other games that I felt that I wanted to play more. So it took me a while before I actually played this game, but I'm really glad that I did. This game is developed and produced by Ubisoft, and it is an open world game with a single player mode and also with an online mode. I have not yet tried the online mode, so I'm not exactly sure what that is about, but I have been playing some of the campaign. The game takes place in London, and the story revolves around the same group as the previous game, DedSec. Now, DedSec get framed by a bunch of bombings in London. The group basically split, and you are now playing as this one person who needs to recruit a bunch of people so that you and DedSec can rise again. You have the bad guys, or good guys, depending on how you see it, called Albion, who is basically a private security taking over London to make sure that everyone is safe after the bombings. But you slowly find out that they are somewhat sketchy and has a lot of plans that they're working on to control the people of London. You also find out that besides Albion, there is another group who were actually in charge of the bombing, but they framed it on you, and so now it's up to you to go after this group too. From what I've played, there's also other big main storylines. They don't seem to be important for the big main story. This game, as an open world game, looks amazing, especially on a PS5. The game has ray tracing, it has 4K resolution, and on the 1st of June it will also have locked 60 frames per second, which I can't wait to see how that will look. The loading game in this game, especially considered the fact that it is playing on a PlayStation 5, is actually kind of bad. I know that it's an open world game and there's a lot of information it probably has to load, but it actually takes 20 seconds to load the game every time that you die, or you have to go underground, or you fast travel, or just loads up the game in the first place, which for a PlayStation 4 would have been good. It would have been fine, but on a PlayStation 5 I had kind of expected a little bit better compared to some of the other games where the loading screen would be 5 seconds, or even in some games it's not even there. The sound for this game is really amazing. It creates a realistic environment around you, has a bunch of noises. If you play this with a headset, it's amazing to hear everything that's going around you, and a lot of it sounds like you would be there in person. I have nothing bad to say when it comes to the sound. The game, however, is a little bit difficult to get into at first. It kind of expects you to know how to play. And yes, it does give you a little tutorial on press this button to do this, but the overall way of playing, it doesn't really help you in any way there. If you like puzzles and puzzle games, this is an amazing game for you. There isn't much shooting in this game, and honestly, I think you can complete the entire game without shooting anybody. So if you really like puzzles, this is definitely the way to go. Compared to my other video that I released about Assassin's Creed, I missed the stealth version of completing a game, which Watch Dogs has. So if you want to play an entire level or a mission by only being stealth and not even being in the room where you need to complete the quest, you can do so, and I love that. The game, by doing this, basically opens up a huge amount of possibilities for you to do, not just by how you do it, but the fact that in this game you can recruit anybody, and I mean anybody. You can walk past an old lady and basically your phone will give you some intel on what this person's abilities are, and you can decide by looking at those abilities whether you want this person to be on your team or not. The cool thing about having different kind of people is that their abilities do something special. So for example, I have a lawyer, so the time that people are in jail is shorter. I also have a nurse who will also shorten the time for people to be at the hospital. And there are several other ways for you to basically take advantage of this, as well as you will have a security guard who can then get you into secure areas and can basically blend in with the people there. You also have a nurse who can do the same. You can also get a construction worker to help you with this. So basically the options for this is unlimited. And I guess that's also why the loading time is so much bigger, is because it has to load all this information on all these different people, and each one of them has a voice actor. Sadly, however, the actual voices and the mouth movement doesn't really add up, and I kind of wish that they were better, especially on a PlayStation 5. There is also some glitches here and there, but they're minuscule. One of the most annoying glitches though is whenever you want to get out of a car, you can just simply get out and the car will keep on going, but you will stop right there when you got out of the car. Compared to the game has been out for such a long time, I feel like this is a huge bug that they need to clear up immediately. In GTA or other open world games, you can jump out of the car and you will roll along the sidewalk or wherever you jump out. But in this game, you just go out and everything is fine. With all of this being said, it's still a really good game, but it doesn't get more than 4 helmets from me. The game is fine, and I really enjoy the open world. I really enjoy the stealth. I really enjoy the fact that it is full of possibilities, but there's just something missing. I don't know if it's the main story is just too dull, or the missions that are kind of repetitive, or some of the locations that you need to go to and do missions are basically a cookie cutter version of another place in the game. However, it does look beautiful, and the fact that you can do so much, despite all of that, I still think it's a good game, but it's not something that I want to keep on playing. As I mentioned earlier, I had previously played both the first and the second game, but it's been so long that I can't really compare to which one I like the most. It's also really difficult because there's been such a huge generation gap in between visually and console wise, but the game mechanics itself is very much the same. If you have been playing the previous games, I definitely feel like that would help you out in this game. Thank you so much for watching. My name is TheNordicDane. If you haven't already, please go and like the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. You can also follow me on Twitch. Here I stream a bunch of games, and I hope to see you there. And as always, be safe.